At the beginning of the year, we all took part in camera workshops. We learned how to assemble the Blackmagic cameras and how to turn them on and off and how to shoot simple clips. We then had a second camera workshop where we learnt different techniques such as depth of field and rule of thirds and the 180-degree rule to make our work more exciting and creative. In these workshops, we also learnt film etiquette such as using words like cut and action and how to work on our film set. In the edit suite, we learnt how to use an Adobe Premiere Pro, the editing program we will be using to edit our thriller sequences. We also learnt basic vocab and how to keep our editing clean and simple, as making sure we don't overlap the different clips. After learning how to use the cameras in Adobe Premiere Pro, we started to discuss and collect ideas for our thriller sequence. Here is our storyboard. We had many different drafts as our ideas and locations changed over the course of pre-production. This was the final version which we used on shoot day. It's very helpful as it made the day less overwhelming. We also created a shot list, which included all the different angles and props we would be using in each individual shot. We then had to organise cast and collect our props. We did this by emailing people we thought would fit the part. When they replied, we organised meetings so they knew what they would have to do prior to our shoot day. We did a test shoot in one lesson to get an idea of what we liked and what we didn't, and we uploaded this to our blog. We then had to organise costumes. Honna's parents are both doctors, so we emailed her mum to ask for various instruments such as needles, scalpels, scrubs, masks and tweezers. One of them brought them in the week before shoot day. On shoot day, we applied everything we'd learnt in workshops and in the editing suite to film everything we needed to get. After shoot day, we went to the edit suite and spent 3 to 4 weeks editing our piece. We created different cuts and layered different music and sound effects until we were happy. The techniques we learnt at the beginning of the year helped us to edit at a good speed and to a high quality. Here's our final thriller opening sequence, 102. One of the first things we did was make sure all our footage had been carried over from the Blackmagic camera onto the computer. We then started to select and combine the shots we liked. After composing the footage, we started to talk about the titles of our sequence. As a group, we discussed fonts and sizes we wanted to use. As our sequence is quite simple, we decided to use a simple font to keep with similar ideas. We used the Iowan font. To make sure each clip faded back on the name clip, we used the Adobe Premiere Pro software. This makes it look more professional and symmetrical. Before the start of the course, I had little experience with cameras like Blackmagic cameras and software like Adobe Premiere Pro. The workshops in September taught me how to navigate them and use them properly. Without these, I would not have known how to edit this sequence together, as well as do other things such as add a soundtrack and add the titles. Overall, the whole experience of pre-production, which included creating storyboards, test shoots, as well as finding props and casts, production and post-production were very fun, as it was something I hadn't done before. The progress my group and myself made is shown clearly in our final sequence.